beginning, I realized I saw the world differently than everyone else.
And I'm guessing that's Emma Stone as
That didn't
Estella.
sit well with some people. But I wasn't for everyone. I guess they were always scared.
Are there gonna be Dalmatians in this trailer?
A psycho.
Oh, she's got the laugh.
But a new day brings new opportunities.
I was expecting the, Cruella de Vil song. Oh, Dalmatians, knew it. They were gonna be in the trailer.
How does the saying go?
Oop.
I am woman. Hear me roar.
Well, I'll give Emma Stone that. She has the... What is that, car chase?
I'm just getting started, darling.
Certainly has a presence.
The thing is, I was born brilliant. Born bad. And a little bit mad.
So I heard. He's got the laugh. Ooh. Burning house shot.
I'm Cruella.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so what's up, everybody? Blood Moon Bobby here, checking out the new trailer for Cruella. I guess you could say it's sort of the prequel to 101 Dalmatians, or more so it shows us the early days of Estella, who would become Cruella de Vil. For more details, let's go to the description of the trailer, which I'll have here. Quote, Academy Award winner Emma Stone stars in Disney's Cruella, an all-new live-action feature film about the rebellious early days of one of cinema's most notorious and notoriously fashionable villains, the legendary Cruella de Vil. Cruella, which is set in 1970s London amidst the punk rock revolution, follows a young grifter named Estella, a clever and creative girl determined to make a name for herself with her designs. She befriends a pair of young thieves who appreciate her appetite for mischief, and together they are able to build a life for themselves on the London streets. One day, Estella's flair for fashion catches the eye of the Baroness von Hellman, a fashion legend who is devastatingly chic and terrifyingly hot. Sorry if if I'm mispronouncing these terms. Played by two-time Oscar winner Emma Thompson, but the relationship sets in motion a course of events and revelations that will cause Estella to embrace her wicked side and become the reckless, fashionable, and revenge-bent Cruella. Yeah, the description is giving me a fair share of tongue twisters and testing my pronunciation on certain words. So, I think, as I always do before I get into the meat and potatoes, what I tend to do is, if this is a trailer for a movie that's based on a franchise, I tend to talk about my prior experiences with the franchise before I go anywhere, to just talk about how I feel about the franchise as a whole. So, when it comes to 101 Dalmatians, I gotta be honest, the weird thing is, as a kid, I saw all the movies except the original one. So as a kid, I actually grew up watching the Glenn Close 101 Dalmatians movies, 101 Dalmatians and 102 Dalmatians. And these days I'm kind of about the movies, but in those films I really appreciate Glenn Close's acting. Like, especially since, as somebody who's been following the industry now and learning about how the various lengths actors will go to get into character. I could appreciate the work that Glenn Close has put into portraying Cruella de Vil in the live action films. Like, I really like how she had that mix of being wickedly funny and just like laughing. I think of like the scene in The Office where she's implying that she wants to make a Dalmatian coat and she goes woof woof and just starts cackling. I think that's like really great acting. I really like how she's able to sink into the role. And she was also could come off as really intimidating at times when she was aggressive. Like, I think of the scene where she's trying to buy the puppies, and out of, like, and it's giving the check to Roger and Anita and screams, "Take it!" And that kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, I really like that mix. I'm surprised she didn't scare, like, I mean, I was intimidated, but I didn't go, like, running out of my family room watching her in that movie. So, yeah, so really liked the acting. I also saw 102 Dalmatians. I saw the animated sequel to the original animated Disney film 101 Dalmatians 2 Patches London Adventure, and of course Cruella goes nuts in the movie. One thing that I will say before I go on that kind of makes me cringe is the scene. And one thing I will say before I go on, a scene from 102 Dalmatians that kind of makes me cringe, which is more personal preference, is the scene where Cruella, like, goes mad in the streets of London. I won't really talk about the context because it's kind of a spoiler, but she basically, like, to her, everybody is, like, wearing, like, Dalmatian spots, and she says da 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 da, Cruella is back, and just completely snaps. I mean, when she started, like, seeing people that way, I thought that kind of made me cringe a bit. But when they got to the scene where she screams that Cruella is back, I was like, oh boy. Original 101 Dalmatians on the night the Cruella trailer. It was actually the night before the trailer was released, and I actually was surprisingly really engaged with it. The stuff with Roger and Anita could get kind of cheesy at times, but when they started getting into the rescue mission in order to save the puppies from the clutches of Cruella, I was totally engaged. I, had a lot of fun watching the movie. Anyway, back to a regularly scheduled program. But anyway, I really wanted to focus more so make the focus of this trailer reaction more so about talking this Cruella trailer, because I'm kind of surprised. Admittedly, I've had some talks with both my sister and my friend Gabby about this movie prior to checking out this trailer, and I'm kind of surprised how much we were able to talk about it just even before getting to the trailer, because we heard about this movie coming out. I remember doing a video about D23, and they showed off some picture of Emma Stone as Cruella with the two the henchmen she works with, Jasper and Horace, and I'll save that for later on. I know this trailer reaction is getting all over the place, but as far as, like, an early look at Emma Stone as Cruella, I think, like, she has potential. Like, after seeing the trailer, I'll admit, like, admittedly, I mostly know Emma Stone from her role from the Croods movies as Eep, and she was able to play a good, fun-loving character. So this is the first time I'm seeing her play, like, a much more, like, aggressive character, like this really intimidating sort of character. So from what I've seen in the Cruella trailer, I will say she definitely has a really intimidating presence. I like the makeup on her. She definitely has that look. I like what they're able to do with Cruella with, like, the hairstyles and makeup. I think that was I think they got, like, the filmmakers got the look down, and even, like, when she speaks and the way she talks. And so far in this trailer, we didn't really see, like, the wild side, not the take it. I'm screaming a lot in this trailer reaction. I'm screaming even more than Emma Stone, but and even though we didn't really get to see much of the wild side, maybe we'll get to see that in the movie itself. I will say she definitely has, like, a really creepy presence, from, like, the way, like, she talks in that, like, really spooky tone of voice to the way that she looks. So I will say in terms of that, she definitely has a lot of promise, and I do hope that this movie well, at least, I mean, because whenever I check out new movies, I still hope that, even if I have some sort of skepticism, I still kind of like hope that there's at least something that's going to be decent, and that maybe Emma Stone's acting. Since this is the first trailer we've seen, I'll give it to them that maybe that they're saving up for more wild moments for maybe future trailers, maybe even the movie itself, because Cruella herself, when I think of her in like past movies, whether it's the original, the Glenn Close movies, or even like the sequel Patch's London Adventure, like of course she, had a really like intimidating way of speaking. Even when she's just speaking normally, she had that like very devious voice. But I think what she's also like most famous for is like that really like scary wild side. Like to me, that was so much of like, why I found her to be a really creepy villain, whether it's her, screaming, or it could even just be thing whether it's like screaming at like Horace and Jasper or Roger and Anita. They did have that bit where she cackles, and she certainly has the laugh, but I kind of hope that they show also like the wild side, unless part of me is saying there's also the possibility of like maybe they're also going down like a more tamer route as well, but I'm still really not sure about that. I still feel like they could still have room for showing her more of the more intimidating, like aggressive side of Cruella, so I hope to see that as well. And when I said that I was kind of skeptical, if anything, me and most of my friends are kind of skeptical about this movie. It's mainly because when I heard that this Cruella movie was on the way, I kind of took it as, oh Jesus Christ, Disney is doing another one of these these live action remakes slash spin-offs, which they're kind of hit and miss to me. I will say that I don't hate them nearly as much as a lot of people, but at the same time, what's generally one of my problems with the Disney remakes that I've seen is I'm not sure, like, what are the benefits of remaking them. It's a sort of like thing where it's like I like many of the movies that they're based on just fine. I don't really get why that they had to have like live action reincarnations. So some of the remakes that I did like include I like the Cinderella remake. I think is one of the best. I also really like not really like, but I thought this one was decent. Mary Poppins Returns. Lion King remake, I thought had good acting, but I thought it lost some of the liveliness in its musical scenes. Beauty and the Beast remake, I thought was an okay attempt, but the tone could get inconsistent, and I don't like some of the character designs. And then the Mulan remake, if you want to hear my thoughts on that, go watch it in the card on YouTube. So yeah, and in the case of the Cruella remake, the reason why I think a lot of me and my friends are kind of skeptical about this movie is I don't really get why Cruella like it needs a movie that's all about what like her backstory in this kind of thing. To me, that kind of a movie works well if the villain is like really like complex, or they have like an interesting backstory that I would like to see more of in a movie, or that sort of thing. With Cruella, I think the fact that like to me Cruella, when you like sum up her character in, well, really any of the 101 Dalmatians movies, where basically she's a scary fashion designer who wants to axe off a bunch of puppies and turn them into fur coats. That in itself makes her a compelling villain, and the fact that she was like that villain who was very like could get very out of control and intimidating, has her funny and wacky moments where like she just goes nuts, but also like had her really scary, I'm gonna say it again, and take it moments, I think was already really compelling enough for a character. So I think in order for this Cruella movie to work for me, it's gonna need to be like it'd be really interesting in terms of like the kind of character study when it comes to Cruella, and in terms of like what do we see in terms of like what caused her to go to go bad and that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't want to like turn this trailer reaction into, oh, it's not the Glenn Close Cruella, so I instantly hate it, because as I always say, we don't know how good a movie is going to be until we check out the movie for itself. That was honestly how I felt about Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and it turned out to be a much better movie than I expected. So I still want to give this Cruella movie a chance. I mean, I'm still in all fairness, this is a first trailer, so this is kind of like the surveying platter. So I'm just thinking, so like, hopefully we'll get to see more from like, other trailers and that sort of thing. I hope it's at least as decent as like one of the better Disney live action remakes, although given the track record of a lot of them, and I have my doubts, but I still want to give a movie a chance. I don't just want to, I really like don't like myself when I turn on a trailer and just say, oh, it's a piece of shit, which this trailer isn't. I honestly thought it was kind of promising. I mean, it's like what my friend Yabby says. The tone itself was pretty good, and I think Emma Stone has some promise. It's just that I think it would be, if they could take it another step further, and when we watch the movie and we see her freak out and like, lash out, I think that would be like so cool. Because yes, having that sort of like devious voice is like, that's part of Cruella's character, and it's promising. But I think when like, she goes like that extra mile and goes like, like really wild and creepy, whether it's on the humorous side or the more like sort of villainous side, I think that just makes her an even more intimidating villain. So I hope that we get to see that in this movie. I want to like, frankly, I want to see like what happens when Emma Stone goes, completely nuts. Like, I hope to see that in like in any like future trailers or when the movie comes out. Honestly, I'm even wondering if for like a future trailer, if they want to continue building up the hype, are they even gonna like go down the road where you don't see Cruella on screen, but you hear her like shouting at somebody, where she's like, "I need the puppies," or that kind of thing. So I don't know. I hope that we get to see that in like a future trailer for the movie itself. I still have my doubts, but it's kind of like what Anton Ego says in Ratatouille. Surprise me. So there you go. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you personally think of the Cruella trailer? What do you think of Emma Stone? What do you think of my impersonations of Cruella's freakouts? Another funny scene, while I'm still here, is I also like the scene in 101 Dalmatians 2 where she turns on her car radio and it starts playing Roger's, Cruella DeVille song, and she just starts like stomping on the radio saying, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up," and that kind of thing. So yeah, also really cool. I'm kind of surprised that I was worried they were gonna have like a punk version or a modern version of the Cruella song. I mean, I like some punk music myself, but it's just like, I was like worried they were gonna put that kind of stuff. So this trailer could have been like, it could have gone into like that kind of cringy, hitting the nail on the head territory for me. But I'm so glad that at least I think it has some promise. So let me know your thoughts down below, and until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos, and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.